Hi everyone and welcome to Guild Wars 2 Little and Large. My name's Coops and today I'm going to be discussing the wonder that is Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns beta weekend, which started on the 4th of September and runs through to the 7th. Now it should definitely be added that I was going to upload a video on the 4th of my initial reaction to this beta, but I have to be honest, it was pretty darn embarrassing. Not to make excuses for myself, but I had a rather long day and the last thing on my mind was getting to grips with all the new features in Heart of Thorns, so as such I just went with the flow. Got horrendously lost, ran in circles for about an hour, got frustrated, cursed Revenant on multiple levels, and then logged off in a bit of a bad mood, so I felt it best to leave that video in a cold, dark alcove of Tyria, never to be unearthed again. Basically, I deleted it. So after a couple of days, I came back to the game and had a go at it like a civilized human being, and it went so much better. And just to make you aware, I did find some pretty funky bugs, which I will be sharing with you at the end of this video, so please stick around to see them. Anyway, a lot of you have been asking me to give my thoughts on the beta from the perspective of a, inverted commas, veteran player. Well, let's just get one thing out in the open first. I am a veteran player because I've been here for a long time, not because I'm a pro or good at the game in any way, shape or form. Hence, game slobs. So what I'd like to do first is discuss the content that the beta has to offer and my thoughts on the content as a whole. So this beta came with a list of 5 achievements, which for me this was the diamond in the rough. As many of you know, I'm a bit of an achievement whore, and it's one of those things that drives me with almost any game. So if you've got one that is very heavy on achievements, throw it my way because I am all over that. Anyway, so obviously finding the beta with achievements made my eyes light up and I was very excited to get started. So the achievements are basically to kill 100 Hylek, which is pretty simple once you follow the 2 chain events that were also part of the achievements. Now these 2 chain events follow Nobles and the Vigil/Pact. And at the moment you'll see on the screen that there are snippets of each segment of the chains events, if that makes sense. I did it this way as the whole footage, and this is before I edited it, was around 2 hours long, and as much as I know you love listening to the sound of my voice, there is a limit, right? So each event within the chain event gives you a part of the achievement. So as long as you follow the chain from start to finish, you can very easily and quickly gain and complete the achievement without much fuss or stress. However, there is one achievement in the Ordnance Corps chain event that will require you to have both the jumping mushroom ability and the glider ability in order to take part in that certain event. Which is a bit shitty in my opinion, but I can understand that ArenaNet want you to try these things out just to hear you say, wow! Strangely, instead of saying wow, I just laughed. Not so much at the gliding, but at the jumping mushrooms. I noticed that they're recycling mechanics within Heart of Thorns and calling it, inverted commas, new. Do you want to know what the jumping mushrooms look like? Well, go to the Tequatl area in Sparkfly Fen and use one of the jumping pads there. It's exactly the same as mushrooms. So kudos to that, ArenaNet. Aside from that, I do just want to have a little bit of a moan about the boss fights. Now, you may have noticed some footage within this video all sped up. That's because I come across a boss that takes around 10 minutes to kill. This I don't really have an issue with, but what bums me out a little bit is that ArenaNet are gloating about introducing new and exciting, challenging content to the game. Well, I've been up against at least 4 bosses, both champions and legendaries, and there is nothing challenging about it. Once again, we are bottlenecked into this frustrating mechanic of stand and hit auto attack, then go make yourself a cup of tea. There were just simply no tactics to them at all. ArenaNet programmed them to have stupidly high amounts of HP, and then they literally stand there and take damage, throwing out the odd knockback skill every now and then. I'm sorry, but if by tactics you mean when he is going to attack with his knockback skill, you simply move behind him or out of range, then damn, I must be a video gaming pro and will take it up as a profession. In fact, no, I'm joining the army because my tactical thinking must be way above average. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Now, I realise the whole tactics thing was aimed primarily at raids, but come on, could you not take some of those tactics and put them into PvE? Would it not be good training for the raids? I don't know. Okay, so the only other thing I would like to note about Heart of Thorns, and along the lines of done to death, are bloody worms. We have seen an ever-growing population of worms consistently throughout the life of Guild Wars 2, and it's no surprise that they are pretty prominent within Heart of Thorns 2. Please, ArenaNet, just stop. I'm starting to feel like I'm playing a game of Spot the Phallic Object. It's like a bloody sausage fest. Okay, so just one more moan. Once you get past all the bosses and events, and you walk away, you're feeling pretty good, that you've completed the chain, everything's fine. Naturally, it leads nowhere, which is understandable, because it's a beta, right? But there is one thing that really did leave me disappointed. Now, during the personal story mission at the beginning, there is going to be an option of 2 paths, this we know. Now, up to now, we've not been able to access the Char's path. Now, forgive me, I forget the names, but we are forced to go with the Sylvari. Again, I've forgotten his name. I'm doing well. I was hoping that the Char path would be unlocked for this beta, but sadly it wasn't, which left me quite aggravated that I was forced to go through the same story mission again for the 3rd time. Now I've done all my moaning, I've got all that out of my system, it's all gone, it's gone. So let's focus on the good stuff. So firstly, the specializations look to be really good. And at present, it seems that they're going to take a decent amount of time and effort to get them all unlocked, which is fantastic, as most vets, like me, are a little bored of having nothing to do within the game. My only hope is that it will take long enough that we will not get to the point where we have unlocked them all and then fall back into the trap of having nowhere to go from there. I'm really looking forward to working on unlocking all the specializations, and if all else fails, I can always work on building a few legendaries and do plenty of raids. Although, we have not yet been given the opportunity to test raids. Now, I truly hope that when we do get the chance, be it in a beta or a live game, we don't find any bugs. As I've been in dungeons and you get to the end and the NPC's bugged and there is a lot of rage quitting, a lot of QQs, a lot of nasty words, and it's like, it's not my fault, the NPC bugged, not me. So, so one can only imagine that it would be a lot worse if that happened in a raid. So just a word of warning to ArenaNet. Test them and make sure they're working right, because if they're as challenging and as long and drawn out as you say they are, then if they're not right, you're in for a bit of trouble. So down to my overview of the beta. Well, all in all, I found this beta netted a lot more of my time than the others, and that is purely down to the achievements, which gives me high hopes for the expansion's release, and it will come with a ton of achievements for me to focus on and keep me away from the pit of nothing left to do. I'd very, very much like to see the whole map for the next beta, with a few more achievements to work on, and perhaps even a glimpse at the guild halls. Even if we're not able to unlock them or do the events, just to be able to walk around them would really help my guildies choose which one of them they would like to have as their new home. Also, a chance to play the new World v World map would be awesome, as most of us beta-errors have not had a chance to play it. Now, there was a beta released quite some time ago where ArenaNet chose who they wanted to play on that beta, and it was mainly the avid World v Worlders, which, yeah, made me a little bit angry, not gonna lie. So giving us a chance to play around with the new map would be absolutely awesome. Now, you may have noticed that there is, up to now, no Stronghold footage within this video. I'm going to tell you now, there is no Stronghold footage. I'm going to be honest, I wanted to focus more on the expansion itself this time, along with all the different classes. Now, speaking of classes, I've not really taken the time to cover them either, just because I'm still playing around with them myself. The thing about classes is they're basically just getting an update. Call it what you will, but eventually it will become the norm and no one will care. New elite skills will be balanced, and most people probably won't even use them. I did test out the chill elite necro skill, and to be honest, I prefer some of the original skills to that one. At the end of the day, it will all be a case of how you play and how you want to build your character. Though I will say that the new Reaper skill for Necro is awesome. And I've also tried the Elementalist one, which is equally as awesome, simply because they are all horribly overpowered. So expect to see some major nerfs heading into Guild Wars 2 once Heart of Thorns is released. So finally, let's talk about the question that is on pretty much every player's mind. If I've not already purchased Heart of Thorns, should I purchase Heart of Thorns? Well, if you want to play in the next beta, then the answer's obvious. Yes, you're going to have to. But for most people, that's not really that important. They don't really care as much. They know that if I was to buy it now, on the whole pre-order thing, buy it now, I get to play one beta, great. My character's going to be deleted anyway, so what's the point? You know, you don't actually get any sort of advantage, you just get to play it, and just get to grips with it before everybody else. So personally, I think now it's kind of not worth it. I think it's worth waiting now, rather than going ahead for the next one beta, maybe two if you're lucky. I don't know how many more there's going to be, but I think at this point it's not really worth pre-ordering, especially considering that the price may come down after release. You may have to wait a couple of months or so, but the price is inevitably going to come down at some point, so you might want to wait for that. Obviously, once it's released, there's going to be plenty of bugs for ArenaNet to start raffling through and fixing as we play and report them like madmen on the forums. You can guarantee on release day you are going to have plenty of people posting in the forums saying this is broken, that's broken, this is broken, I can't log in, and the rest, you know, the usual stuff that you would expect to see when a expansion is released. Now, obviously, we wouldn't want that to be the case, but we know it's going to be the case. Much like every Living Story chapter, whenever they were released, they always had bugs. Some worse than others. Some were basically, right, I can't actually go any further in the game, and others were just minor bugs which no one really gave a crap about. A few people whispered about it on the forums and eventually they got fixed, or in a true ArenaNet style, deleted. Let's give people content and then remove it, because that's the way forward, right? But that's just my thoughts on Living Story Season 1. So, yeah, kudos to that. So enough of my moaning, back to the topic at hand. Should you buy Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns expansion now? Well, ultimately the decision is yours. I cannot sway you one way or another. My personal advice to you would be, don't. Do not do it. There's no point. You're going to be spending the same amount as the people who pre-purchased months and months and months ago when the pre-order was available, and getting next to nothing in comparison to all the things that they've been given through the betas. When the game is released, I would probably give it about a month for it to become stable. If you're a new player, that's fine, because at least you've got the core game to be working on, you've got your personal story, you can unlock the second season of Living Story, so you've got plenty of stuff to do. There's loads of achievements and jump puzzles and all that crap for you to do, so don't worry about it so much. Don't rush it. You know, we've had Guild Wars 2 from the first day, and we've been playing that for 2-3 years, and it's only it's only the past year, I'd say, that I've been bored stiff waiting for something to crop up. Obviously we had the Living Story, which was always, it was something that got us interested, and we were doing stuff, things were being released, and we had content to play with, so I suppose there is that advantage that we had. But like I say, you can actually purchase the second season of the Living Story from the gem store. You can unlock it, you can play all of that. There's loads of achievements for you to do for that. So don't rush it. There's no need for you to rush into Heart of Thorns. The only reason I would say jump into Heart of Thorns as soon as humanly possible is for your precursor crafting. Because obviously we all want to get ourselves a legendary weapon. I know that there's going to be some new legendary weapons released in Heart of Thorns. At present, I have no idea what they look like. I know there's going to be legendary armor released, which I'm super psyched for. Can't wait to get my hands on that and get all that and get a full set of legendary stuff, just because I'm a bit elitist like that, I guess. So that's going to be really good. So if obviously you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I need legendary stuff now, then that's probably the point where you think, yeah, it's time to get Heart of Thorns, and then you can just plow on at your leisure. But while the core game is still entertaining to you and you've still got stuff to do, save your money, play that to its fullest, enjoy it, and obviously you may come across a time when, oh look, Heart of Thorns is on offer! Great! So you've taken full advantage of that, and you get Heart of Thorns a lot cheaper than us schmucks who pre-purchased. That is my advice to you. Take it or leave it. Do as you will. Either way, I look forward to seeing you in game. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will catch you next time on Guild Wars 2 Little and Large. Ta-ta! Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to click like and subscribe.
And leave us a comment below.
Then click the related video for more laughs at our expense.
I will do. Ta-ta!
Cheers!